Hi everybody, Creative Katie, Karen Burchill. I am here with my cup of Sugar Bush maple coffee, which is to die for. And I am ready to do day 8. And the prompt for day 8 is actually paint chips, and I'm not going to do paint chips. So I think I might table that one to do at a later date. I don't have the necessary supplies. So I'm going to do ombre, which when you look up, it's when you have having colors or tones that shade into each other. So I'm going to use, and I've not done these two combinations in this effect, so dioxazine purple and light blue permanent. So I'm just going to tape this down so it doesn't move. And put some more blue. And I'm going to spray here. I tried spraying the paper and that just became, it got too wet. So this is take 2. I'm just going to just play till you like what you see. Oops. Taping it down totally works. Okay, so that, I'm liking the look of that, so I'm just going to set that aside to dry. And okay, so a lot of indecision going on here. Not sure what I want to do, but I'm going to keep going with these two colors and the ombre effect a little bit. I'm going to keep playing on that. And what I want to do, I believe, is I'm going to stencil on here with the same colors, and I'm going to get those mixed up. So it's going to keep the same colors. And this is one of the tricks that I often do, and I've had a lot of success. And yeah, I think in part, I've seen a couple people do this, but Diane Reevely did this. She always starts with 3 colors, and then when she stencils on, she uses afterwards, she uses the same 3 colors. And I'm going to put the blue kind of on the opposite side, and then we're going to meld in the middle. This is my plan. I have no idea if the plan is going to work at all. Stay tuned. Sometimes I often get turned around when I'm doing stencils and stuff. What I see and what I attempt to do ends up being kind of the opposite of what I actually want to do. So don't know. One of the reasons I really like doing videos for people is, I mean, it's the teacher in me. I'm just kind of that born teacher. You can take the teacher out of the classroom, right? But you can't take the teacher out of the classroom out of the teacher. Or however that saying would go. But I like, because I push myself to do better, to take chances that I probably wouldn't otherwise. Okay, ooh, that is very interesting and in a good way. So we kind of have the ombre effect on top with the stencils, although it was a little harder to get. Okay, so since I have this purple out, I'm just going to edge it. With this. This is very one-dimensional. It's just paint, although it has interest in color and pattern. Okay, so I'm just all over the place and undecided about what I'm going to do here, so I think I'm just going to put this girl on, and I have some letters here. It is windy here today. So I'm going to speed up the rest of the video just because it's pretty straightforward. I'm not really doing any massive techniques. So here I'm just tracing this stencil of this girl, and then I am going to paint it with black acrylic paint. So I put the paint on my craft mat and add a little bit of water, and that just helps it flow a little better. And I'm just basically filling in and making this girl into a silhouette. As I'm looking here, I'm thinking I could have done this in white. I never think to do that until after the fact. Maybe one day soon. This card, minus the indecision that I had, took about 30 minutes. There was 30 minutes of complete tape before I started to speed it up. So I have these die cuts that I cut with my Silhouette Cameo, this No Regrets. One day I just typed a whole bunch of different sayings out and picked different fonts and cut them out. And then I saved them in little baggies. And that just sits on my desk for this exact thing, where I'm looking for a sentiment or something and it's really ready to go. So on this one, I'm going to keep them white, but other times I will paint them. It is a bit of a tedious job, but it gives a different look than if you cut out a sentiment or you use your stickers. So I'm just applying this with gel medium, and I'm getting a coat underneath them and on top. So here's hoping that none of you have regrets. Make your decisions and, go with them. I know lots of people have asked us whether we have any regrets for moving across, part of Canada. And no, in some ways it was more difficult than we thought. But we're here now, and we're enjoying where we are and where we find ourselves. And we're not going to have to live with regret of, what would have happened if. There was a saying that I really, really liked and referred to often as we were going through the move, and it said, change is difficult, but you know what's more difficult? Regret. And that's so true. So I used my Uniball Signo white here, and I did the ... dash around the border. I just wanted to add a little bit more white to go with the sentiment that I have. So, if you have it someplace, a color someplace, you need to have it someplace else. And that leads to a very cohesive page. So then I'm outlining the girl here for the same reason. Now my Uniball Signo, I threw out a whole bunch of them. If you don't use your craft supplies, sometimes they just dry up and become unusable. So use them and enjoy them. I also go around with dashes or faux stitching all around the bubbles that you see. So in the final ones, you're going to see that. I decide to go around the white letters and add black there for the same reason. It reads with the black of the girl. And then I'm edging it with black instead of the purple again, so everything works together. Just wanted to show you the lovely, this is all leftover paint that I just stenciled. I had some more of that,
and I put them through
Diox purple there, and I just
and these are absolutely
stenciled
gorgeous.
It on with that stencil. This was
I'm sure you will
Punchinella.
see me use them in
So,
some upcoming
you'll see these showing up
index card.
on some future
Please
ICAD.
enjoy the close-ups. You can see the faux stitching around all the bubbles. This card gave me a bit of a struggle. I didn't have a clear idea of what I wanted to do beyond creating the ombre effect, and I'm really quite happy with how it turned out. So, no regrets. Thanks for watching. See you on day 9.